Hey, this is Sunita Gupta, and you are watching your SST lesson number 13, the Northern Plains. So let's get going, children. Children, before we begin this chapter, I want to show you some maps so that everything gets clear to you. See here, children, this is our country, India. Here is Pakistan. This is Nepal, Tibet, and this one is Bhutan. Understood? Some of the countries I have shown. This is Bangladesh and here is Myanmar. So many countries I have shown you which are important, which are related to this chapter. One more thing. Now, we are going to learn about the northern plains. The northern plains. So where are the northern plains in the map of India? These are the mountains. You all have learnt about the physical divisions of India earlier. So this is what? These are mountains. Mountains shown in brown color. This area has got mountains. This is actually Himalayan range. Why it is not shown here? Because it's not India, so it's not continuously shown here. So this is Himalaya range. Then we are going to study the northern plains. These are the northern plains shown in light green color. All from here to here, from Punjab to Assam. This is West Bengal. It is also included. So many states are included here, like Uttar Pradesh is there, Haryana is there, and Bihar is there, West Bengal is there. Understood? Assam is there. Here you can see light green color, northern plains. So we are going to study about the northern plains today. I had sent you a map also on the group where all these things are shown, and this is plateau. So southern plateau. So where do the northern plains lie? Northern plains lie between the southern plateau and the mountains, Himalayan range. Clear? Understood, children? Between the plateau and the Himalayan mountains. These are in between these two things. And moreover, in this map, desert is shown, Indian desert. Thar desert is shown here. And these are the coastal plains. Coastal plains. Coastal means near the sea. All this area lies near the sea. So these are the coastal plains. And this is Arabian Sea. You should know that this is Arabian Sea and this is Bay of Bengal. All these things you must know. That's why I am telling you these will be included in this lesson. And moreover, you must know about the rivers also. I showed you this is Pakistan. Indus River flows from here. Earlier, Punjab was having 5 rivers, but now only 3 rivers are there. Beas, Satluj and Ravi. Only 3 rivers flow through Punjab. Understood? Ravi, Satluj and Beas, which are the tributaries of Indus River. Clear? This river is Sangpo River, which flow from Assam and then goes to Bangladesh. This is Bangladesh. Understood? From Tibet it starts, then comes to Assam, and then goes to Bangladesh, and then falls into the Bay of Bengal. This is there. And river Ganga is also there. River Ganga, that is, it flows through the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. River Ganga. Can you see? River Ganga. Here also in UP, in Bihar also. It has got many tributaries, and main is Yamuna. Yamuna is its main tributary. Gomti, Ghagra, and all these rivers are its tributaries. Clear? I hope you all have understood. You can see the map. At least you may refer if you want. So I have made all these things clear to you. Then I'll start this chapter. First of all, what we are going to study in this lesson: the northern plains, division of the northern plains, Punjab, Ganga and the Brahmaputra river basin, importance of the northern plains, life of people in the northern plains. Clear? All these things we will study in this lesson. Some small questions are there for you which you must know. What color is used to mark rivers on the map? This you all might be knowing. Blue color. Blue color is used to mark the rivers on the map. If you visit the Taj Mahal, which river can you see flowing beside it? It is Yamuna River. If you were standing at the Howrah Bridge, which river can you see underneath? It is Hooghly. Which river is shared by India, Tibet and Bangladesh? It is Brahmaputra. Clear? These are just GK questions. If you keep searching in Google, you will come to know about these rivers and all. Whatever you want to know in this lockdown, you can search on Google instead of wasting your time. So northern plains is a vast area of flat fertile land. See, northern plains is a flat area which is fertile, which is very fertile. Fertile means vegetation, with a lot of vegetation. So many crops grow here. So it stretches from Punjab in the northwest to Assam in the east. As I had shown you, it starts from here, Punjab, to Assam. Here, till here it is. The northern plains are formed by the deposits brought by the three major rivers and their tributaries. These rivers are the Indus, Ganga and the Brahmaputra. So which three rivers are there? Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. So these plains, how are plains formed? First of all, tell me this. This you have studied in the previous chapter. When the rivers flow from mountains and come down, they bring along very fine particles of silt, clay and sand and gravel. Many things they bring along, means particles of rocks and all they bring along. So these things make the soil fertile. Clear? So these plains are rich in alluvial soil. When alluvium is brought by the rivers, that alluvium settles down along the river's side and that soil is very fertile. So that is called alluvial soil. Fertile soil means alluvial soil. You think this thing. The northern plains of India are the most productive regions for agriculture because of its rich fertile soil, adequate water supply, and favorable climatic conditions. So, three things are there. First thing is fertile soil. Second thing is adequate water supply because rivers are there. And third thing is favorable climatic condition. Climate is also favorable. So that's why crops are easily grown here. So rice and wheat are grown in these areas mostly. So because of high fertility and production of rice, it is also known as Rice Bowl of India. Clear? Divisions of the northern plains. Now let us study about them. How the northern plains are divided. They are divided according to the rivers that drain the area. So the Punjab river basin drained by Indus, the Ganga river basin drained by the Ganga, the Brahmaputra river basin drained by the Brahmaputra. Clear? Because Punjab is river basin is drained by Indus, so that's why, or its tributaries we can say. So it is Punjab river basin, the Punjab river basin. The Ganga river basin, why the name is the Ganga river basin? Because it is, that area is drained by the Ganga. Similarly, Brahmaputra. Clear? River basin means the river basin is an area watered by a river and its tributaries. So now let us study about the Punjab river basin. Children, you live in Punjab and you might be knowing how the name Punjab is given to this state. Punjab means Panch rivers means 5 rivers are there in it. Actually, earlier 5 rivers used to flow here in Punjab. Now only 3 are there: Satluj, Byas and Ravi. So only a part of Indus river basin lies in India. Punjab and Haryana lie in the Punjab plains formed by the Indus river. The soil is mostly made up of silt and is porous. Porous means pores are there in the soil. So that which allows a liquid to pass through it. I hope you are able to see this. Now the Bhakra Nangal Dam is in Punjab. It is built on river Satluj, provides electricity and water for irrigation on the region. Main crops grown in this region are wheat, rice, cotton and sugar cane. So you all know wheat, rice, cotton and sugar cane are grown here. Now comes the Ganga river basin. The large part of northern plains is made up of the Ganga river basin. It extends from East Punjab to Bangladesh border in the east. It mainly covers the states Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. Means these 3 states are covered in Ganga river basin. Some of the tributaries of Ganga are Yamuna, Ghagra, Gandhak, Kosi and Teesta. Ganga starts from Himalayas, from Gangotri glacier it starts off. The Ganga enters the northern plains near Haridwar. The Yamuna joins Ganga at Allahabad. This place is called Sangam. Understood? Sangam is the place where Ganga and Yamuna join each other. The Ganga flows through the states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal. All these states it flows. River Ganga. So this upper region of the river basin, the river flows swiftly. When it reaches West Bengal, it flows slowly and splits into two branches, Hooghly and the Padma rivers. So what does it mean? The river Ganga splits into two branches, the Hooghly and the Padma. Hooghly, where it flows, which bridge is made on the Hooghly river? Tell me. Yes, Howrah Bridge. Howrah Bridge is on the Hooghly river. The Ganga river basin is the most populated part of India. People here are engaged in agriculture. Variety of crops like rice, wheat, jute and sugarcane are grown in these areas. Trade, commerce and industry also flourish in the region. Clear? This is clear to you till here, I think. So you have studied about the Punjab river basin, the Ganga river basin. Now comes the Brahmaputra river basin. Children, you have to write the spellings and all very carefully when you are attempting the papers and all. Your marks have been deducted because you are not writing the spellings correctly while you write on the mobile. You are typing on the mobile, that time you have made a mistake. The Brahmaputra river starts in Tibet where it is called Sangpo. This I told you earlier also, showing the map. Tibet, it is called Sangpo. Brahmaputra river is called Sangpo. Then it enters India through Arunachal Pradesh and flows through Assam before entering Bangladesh. The Brahmaputra river basin is formed by the Ganga and the Brahmaputra rivers. These two rivers form the largest delta in the world before falling into the Bay of Bengal. This delta is called Sundarbans. So which is the largest delta? Sundarbans delta. Delta is a triangular shape like this. Triangular shape is formed by the river, which is very fertile. This area is very fertile. This region experiences heavy rainfall. Agriculture is the main occupation of the people here. Paddy or rice is the main crop grown here. So other crops are also grown: wheat, maize, grams and millets, jutes and sugarcane. As the soil is very fertile, there is high agricultural production. This region is heavily populated. So wherever more of production is there only people will go. They need not search for anything. They'll get the food easily. So that's why that area is very populated. Now, importance of the northern plains. What is the importance of northern plains? Northern plains of India are the gift of river Ganga. They are very important for our country because of the following regions. The northern plains are made of alluvial soil. This I told you. What is the word? Alluvial soil. This soil is very fertile and best suited for the cultivation of crops like wheat, rice, sugarcane, pulses, etc. Therefore, northern plains are also called food bowl of India. Food bowl of India. Understood? The northern plains are home to millions of people in our country. Means many people live here, like in Uttar Pradesh and all. There is highest population. Why many people are living in Uttar Pradesh? Because food is easily available there. food is grown there. Like why in Rajasthan population is less? Because no vegetation is there or very less rainfall is there. Climatic conditions are not good. So people don't like to live there. The northern plains are home to millions of people in the country. Then, since the land is flat and leveled here, the roads and railways are well developed. Means wherever land is leveled, so roads and railways will be well developed. Connectivity of the area is good. The northern plains has many well developed industries like iron, steel, sugar, cement and jute. Since the northern plains are fed by many rivers, various dams are built on these rivers that provide water and electricity. Understood? So this way northern plains are very important for